Yeah, for anyone over here on MWO Leagues too, you can check out Ivor on MWO League's main channel. Get the different camera angles. Um, this is a 4 seed versus 5 seed, so this should be a very close match coming up. Yeah, yeah. This would be quite interesting if they could push it to all 5 maps. Get a display of all 5 maps in one match. That would be quite a good thing, I believe, from where the spectators are sitting. Um, I'm going to go through these teams and their finishes here while we wait for them to get into the lobby. Yeah. So the first feeder league for this invitational was Intersphere Coalition Season 5, way back in January, February. Darksea Corsairs ended up placing first in Division B, whereas the Sky Ranger Yagers ended up placing fourth in the same Division B. Moving on to Blood League Season 2, Sky Ranger Yagers won Division B. Darksea Corsairs finished second in Division B. And then for the final tournament here, Tournament of Stars Season 2, the Darksea Corsairs finished third, and a team that I believe is, well, they have close ties if they are not considered the same team. Gatos Galactophages ended up finishing fourth in Division A in that league. So these two teams have been neck to neck, all 3 different leagues, so they should be very familiar with each other and their play styles. I don't have. I have your audio? Um, no, I don't have your audio. Why do I not have your audio? I don't think I have. I don't think I have your audio at all, and I have no idea why. Yeah. I'm gonna do it.
In any case, we're getting ready for the map ban. All right, and this process is starting. So what is going to happen here is the Dorksea card, the switch. They're going to go back and forth on that until all the order is chosen, and then The Jaegers will start by choosing sides for the first map, and then we will move through that process yet again. What you're seeing on the screen is through a site called Map Band, nice little overlay that they put out for us. All right, there's our first one, starting off with Vitric Station.
Okay, Vitric Station
A
being the
popular
first map.
starting map. Yep. And this is a best of 5 single elimination, so we will not be playing through all 5 if a team hits 3. So it behooves these teams to choose their strongest maps first.
Yeah, so just waiting for Sky Rangers, Yoggers to pick second map.
Let's see. I think the Jaegers are probably going to lean more towards that mid to close. So I would honestly expect, as we play the guessing game here, maybe some Crimson Straight or some Hibernal would be my guess. Darksea Corsairs, I feel like, are heavier on the trade side of things in terms of what they tend to show. So Vitric Station it's a great map. Maybe they're looking to do maybe a brawl push really early on, or think they're going to be able to receive one, feel very strongly on that. There is Hibernal. Now it's up to the Corsairs to choose the third map. There's our Polar Highlands. Yep, there's our trade tendencies.
Okay.
Some interesting news in the comp scene in coming through this afternoon from an interview with Frostbite. So there's some legendary mechs coming out that are Omnimex, which obviously has an implication. Hang on, there we go. Crimson Straight. And then mining. All right, now we choose sides. So the where was I going with this? All right, the Omnipods. So those will be usable. The center torso of the mech will not be usable in queue, but the Omnipods will be usable. The Omnipods will be banned for the actual tournament part. A lot of that's due to technical reasons. All right, DSC going team 2 on Vitric Forge. And how you can tell that, if you're wondering, is those little mechs that showed up in the corner down there on Vitric Station correspond to left and right there. So that red mech corresponds to Darksea Corsairs. That red mech corresponds to Team 2. So actually, we are also doing Team 2 for Drop 2. All right, let's see what Drop 3. Are they going to make my job easy like KDCM did?
Would be nice.
That would be nice. Nope. That's okay. All right, we're going team 1 on Hibernal for the Darksea Corsairs. Let's see what and then team 2. All right. Team 2 for Crimson Straight.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we even make it to map 5. I mean, that would be interesting.
That'd be nice. It'd be nice. Here it is. Sorry, this is the choppiest part of the stream, folks, as we're just waiting on information. Could come and say, there it is. Darksea Corsairs taking team 1. All right, excellent. We are set up. Let me see if we are in the right positions. We are not. All right. Get this here. All right, and we are pairing it up with Vitric Station. Vitric Station. Sorry, I'm a faction player, so it just sounds weird.
Yeah.
After all these times, I want to keep saying Vitric Forge, and my brain's like,
I have to hesitate
right.
every time to try and remember which is which. Yes, it is Vitric Station.
Yeah, and that is actually queued up on the map room, and I have moved us over to the map room. If you want to chat about Vitric Station while I get these guys.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So Vitric Station, it's kind of a map that is dominated by these ramps, and most teams try to play up on the top. So, what you see out of the spawns, teams just kind of going up, and either they hang back if they're planning to receive, or they actually push up to the ramps and either trade over the ramps or make a brawl push over the ramps. Now, there are counterplays to that. go ahead and throw some indicators down. There are positions off to the side that teams could be playing around if they so chose, instead of just moving up and playing, um, you know, kind of forward toward Theta. And Theta, of course, is in the basement, so teams have to send a mech down if they want to grab it. But you need to know if your opponents are going to be pushing first. Now, of course, teams can, if they do push, they can go just over the ramps. That's commonplace. Or you can see some moves out to the sides, perhaps with a flanking angle, flanking plays off on the sides, maybe with mid-range traders to get a secondary angle if a team is electing to just trade instead of brawl pushing. You could also, if you have an excess number of jump jets, you can actually just straight up jump up onto these ramps, and players could be, teams knowing the map, they can go ahead and rig their builds in such a way that they can jump up. But I'm not sure how these teams are going to elect to play. I'm curious to see. Like, I think that both of these teams kind of favor more the range trading as opposed to brawling. So it'll be interesting to see if one of them is going to push, the other doing a receive, or if they're both going to just be relatively content taking the top and just standing and trading.
Yeah, I can't really speak for the Jaegers. I know they used to be a very competent push team last year, SRA in general. That being said, I haven't seen a lot in their of their matches this year. But given their performances, obviously, either they're making that brawl work, or they've learned to diversify a little bit, like KDCM, which wouldn't surprise me.
I think both teams have a little bit of diversity in how they play. The Jaegers might be leaning a little bit more toward brawl, but that doesn't mean they can't play range. And
exactly, yep.
They've got all the tools in their toolbox, so we'll see which ones they pick.
Yeah, and this map could you can do that brawl right, you can do that brawl very wrong, depending on where the receiver's set up there.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Where's our? We're coming up on 2 minutes and about 30 seconds. I know I'm throwing out a lot of times there. Absolutely. Let's see. Also, on these push with these lines, taking those bottom ramps, something that we've seen very successful, especially new teams. This is something you might want to hear about. If you're watching to see what this is all about, that push on the top is great. Throw a couple of mechs underneath to go up these side ramps here.
Yeah.
And that's been ooh, we're having fun with my somehow ping and that. Oh, that was your ping, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, my ping.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Every ping you made there was where my cursor was. It was a wild bit of synchronicity there.
One of these teams is facing toward the team 2 side.
The
other ramp's facing toward the team 1 side. Now the problem with this side ramp is that it's a little bit narrow, so you can't just run up like 8 assault mechs up that ramp. You can use, probably maximum 2 mechs up on there, kind of doing a flank harass. You can't really conga line up there. It's a little bit narrow in my mind for that. But if you combine it with a push across the ramps, then you can hit from the side with 1 or 2 mechs. Or jump jets are really good on this map in terms of finding side angles that you can kind of flank harass some shots in with maybe a pop tartar or something of that nature. I don't play the Shadowcat myself personally, but I imagine this map as a Shadowcat paradise.
Yes. This Shadowcat works very well. Mistlink's fantastic. Like all those jump jet mechs that you think of, it is that map. We also did see a fight happen here over Charlie 3, Charlie 4, between some wolf packs, and then obviously the wall guys got in on that. That was a real nasty fight down there that didn't work so well for. I think it was the Team 2 side, but don't quote me on that. But it was
it was the Team 2 side that had set up a couple of range mechs toward Delta 5, which were unable to participate because of all the blocking terrain on a low ground brawl in Charlie 4. And that's the advantage that the team going top center, they were able to shoot down on the brawl while denying their opponents the ability to shoot in on the brawl, which is always, if you have top, you can always drop, is the thing. It's not, if you're in the low ground, you can't just get up, or if you're off to a side, the citadels kind of block your ability to participate in a fight on the other side, whereas if you're centralized, you can shoot all 4 different directions from the center high ground.
Yeah, and I think that probably about covers it. It's a small map. There's ultimately just little opportunity for a whole lot of digression.
Absolutely. Teams are
Yeah, I'm gonna go
pretty
ahead
much
and
ready.
launch us here as the chat goes. I know you guys can't see that on the stream, just while we're talking maps, but they have asked if the caster takes more than 5 minutes, do we disqualify them? And I am launching them on that note, and I
Yeah.
think that is perfect. All right,
It's
we're going.
475 tons out of the Team 1, which was Sky Rangers, I believe, and then 480 out of T2 Darksea Corsairs.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna see too much deviation from that on this map because it is so small. You're not going to gain a whole lot from a speed advantage.
Yeah. Just in general, you want to use as much tonnage as possible. You can always find like with a 480 ton cap for the 8 mechs, you can always find a way to get speed into your deck without losing tonnage.
Oh yeah, the tonnage is basically life here. All right, I'm hanging out on the Darksea Corsair side here, where we are looking at a
Right?
Crusader, a Night Star. Okay,
Night
there's that
Star.
Shadowcat, Mistlinks, Cheetah, the Shard. I'll have to take a look at that. Firestarter, Stalker, and an Annihilator using that slow mech on the short map. Let's see, AC5s, PPCs. Looks like we're largely looking mid-range to brawly here. Nothing too snipery. Let's check
Yeah.
out this Shadowcat.
I'm seeing range
Yeah,
receive
heavy
here
large.
from Sky Ranger Yoggers. There's heavy PPCs. There's AC5 Mauler. That's a little bit of a off meta pick. ER PPCs on the Executioner. The Night Gear had 4 large pulse with 4 ER mead. And then, yeah, a little bit of brawl on the heavy machine gun. Mistlinks. Firestar's got light PPCs. And then Hunchback 2CA also doing the ER PPC stuff.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I think the DSC here is looking like it looks like both teams have kind of opted to succeed. It'll be interesting to see that. That being said, Epic Poner and the Shadowcat taken a lot of damage early on. Must have gotten really
86%.
whacked when he went for thing. Yeah, one of those his right shoulder is pretty beat up there. Taking a look at that. I don't think it'll keep him out of a fight, but it is certainly a little humbling this early into a match.
Yeah, I need
So
to
we'll
play a little
see.
bit
He'll be
more
keeping his
safe.
head down. Yep. Looks like we're drifting to the SROT left side here.
Yeah, a fair bit of mechs in the low ground here, taking Theta, securing it. There is an Arctic Wolf on the side of the Sky Rangers of Terra's, which is, it's the Prime variant, so that could have jump jets.
It probably
Omni-Mech
does.
one.
I would wager, yeah, 4 SRM6s with Artemis. There's room for some jets there. So yeah, we've got House spotting them on the left side. It looks like the Jaegers decide not to take the push up those ramps and are still just kind of holding and trading here. We've got their Crusader up top. Was he snubs or ERs?
Heavy PPC.
Heavy. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, spicy.
Shadowcat just lost its side
Poner
torso.
is, yeah, I was gonna say Poner's looking rough. Yep, here we go. All right, here we go. We got the Darksea Corsairs are pushing up to the ramps with their heavies here, the Stalker and the Night Star. They're probably going to push right over the top here. I don't know how much of that side flank they're going to have, but I think what they've located is that some of the mechs on the Jaeger side are underneath. So they're going to take the top push, take that fight. It's going to be 4 on however many they can manage to get up there, which is going to be most. Yeah. Ooh, looking at Red Baron here. What happened to you? Come on, stop moving. Let me click on you.
Red Baron and the Mistlings. 86% is not too scary. Black Cayman could be in trouble.
But there's an open leg just as I clicked on him, so that's going to be a little bit of trouble too. Merc J also looking a little rough. So Darksea Corsairs, it's actually closer than it looks, I think. But I think Jaegers might have a smidge of an edge.
Here's the push.
On here, and here's the push.
Gray
Here's that
Fox
push over the top.
focused.
Gray Fox getting focused, getting pushed off the top. Are they going to follow? No, they're going to stay up top. That's the thing to do.
Hunchback
on Savronis, absolutely destroyed there. Who's our next time? Apostle Burt
Mauler
going down in the Mauler,
torso.
which was a very nice bit of focus fire there. Embarrassing, cooking his legs up.
Yeah.
Like a crab. And losing some of that CT armor.
A lot of heat damage.
Who's left up here? Oh yeah. And they've cleared the top.
All those.
However,
all those halved, taking a lot of damage. But it's just the light elements left from Sky Rangers, so see what they can make work here.
And they've cycled through the back. They've got a lot of things they can clean up on. Gray Fox there finally getting taken down. But if they can get to Hollow, Let's see how our Annihilator is doing here. Avazovsky, Open CT could drop any second there.
Spoon's getting jumped.
Epic Poner. Yeah, we'll see how it is. Spoonwreckers off the table again as the Dorksea Corsairs continue to take them down and protect their damaged mechs.
Executioner in the basement here. I don't know if anyone's going to drop down to go after them, but they are isolated from their team. Kind of
Yeah, it looks like they're going to focus on the... Well, they're all together now, so... Let's see. Panzazo is looking a little rough there at 56%. It sounds like he may have lost the leg. Nope, that was an arm. But coming in and losing that side torso as well. You see the Darksea Corsairs just picking their targets right here. There goes Gatto to the focus. And then we are left with our Arctic Wolf.
Yeah, Arctic Wolf doesn't manage to pick up any of the kills. We got low percentages on the side of the Darksea Corsairs. A couple mechs in the 26, 34, 52, and plenty open components, but no deaths on the side of Darksea Corsairs. Some decent armor rotation toward the middle to end stages of that drop.
Yeah, I think right there we're looking at another. It's coming down to focus fire. Ultimately, I think is what we saw there. DSC with the superior focus fire at in their push there when they went over, like that Mauler dropped so quickly. At least in my sort of estimation there.
I mean, it's a that center torso is kind of a little bit large.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, but you know, they didn't spread around. They took it right out. So let me see. There's our okay. Our scoreboard is correct there. So just take a look at the damages here across the board. Merc J and that Night Star pulling almost 600. Fork and the Mistlinks, unfortunately, just pulling 62. Got a little stuffed. Which is difficult. Let's see. Oh, that Mauler did pull 500, so they were pulling their weight as well.
Yeah, Mauler's a little bit of a glass cannon. Put out 500 and then dropped dead. So it's not really the Mauler's fault there. It did what it was supposed to do. But,
yep, absolutely.
I thought the trades were going the way of the Sky Ranger Yoggers, so that'll be an interesting thing to keep an eye on into the next couple of drops that are maybe a little bit more of a trade opportunity. Whether or not they actually are capable of winning these trades going forward.
Yeah, it's and it's tough. I think DSC is probably going to get them on that trade with that focus fire, but also it felt like both teams were set up to receive, right? And when the push didn't necessarily come, they started sort of scrambling a little bit.
You know, I think that Darksea Corsairs were almost forced into pushing the way that their Shadow Cat lost his side torso early, and just I do believe that the trades were favoring Sky Rangers. So it was close, though.
Yeah, no, it was closer than it looks, quite frankly. Had the Jaegers been able to get a pick or two, you know, on that first, they certainly put out the damage and took the components. They just weren't able to capitalize on that win there. And as we saw, we've got that over the top push with some ground elements. The interesting thing is the Jaegers had a lot of people on the ground. That one has me a little bit head scratching. They had a couple people up top, and that was the other thing. DSC got that scout, said, hey, they've got 3 or 4 people on the ground. Let's just take out the ones up top. We'll just do a concerted push and take them out. And that's exactly what they did. They pushed at the right time to get that done.
The one weakness perhaps there that factored into it is that that night gear with the 4 large pulse, 4 ER mead. That's a pretty hot build. And when the push occurred, I noticed it had a lot of heat damage. Took its own leg off, I do believe, through heat damage, which maybe if that had been maybe a little bit more DACA night gear maybe, or something else maybe, just maybe that would have been enough to turn the tide. I'm not really sure.
Maybe.
It's
but
not
burning that structure, using that structure as essentially a little bit of an extra heat gauge is a risky move, but we're seeing a lot of these top teams doing it, and it is something you should be looking into, getting good at. It's something that I'm not quite comfortable with, but it's definitely a good idea, because if you can, you know, manage it enough so that you don't die and start losing weapons, that's the thing. It's a even finer line than not shutting down. I'm going to move us on to the next one as things are moving on. So we are on Hibernal Rift with the Jaegers up north on Team 2. Take it away there.
Okay, so Hibernal Rift, I'm a fan of the Epsilon push, which we may or may not end up seeing. You can play it from either side, either pushing around Epsilon from the Team 1 side or from the Team 2 side, and we'll see what they end up doing, whether or not that's something you elect to go for. Um, Team 2, one of your critical positions is the volcano, or the trash pile as it called if this would Canyon Network. And then on the other side, the Delta 5 location has Bucket Hill. Those are excellent receive positions if there's an Epsilon push being um, taken by either of these teams. Of course, they also work as pretty good trade positions as well if this does go to both teams just electing to sit back and trade. So the other positions for Team 2, if they elect to receive, they can sit on the back ridge line. Rather strong position to just kind of put their mechs on she's here, fix these arrows up. Back ridge, you can put a couple of mechs on those receive type positions or trading, and same for Team 1, they can play on this back ridge line toward the Epsilon side. Now, if teams elect not to go for Epsilon, there's always the radio tower position, which is very strong, and they could play around Kappa. Again, there's some reasonably strong back ridge trade positions there that could be played. So there's a lot of variety in terms of available playstyles on this map, but I like the Epsilon push. That is my. It's nice and simple and easy, and if you execute it right, it's pretty difficult to stop, even if you know it's coming.
I would agree with that. It is, you know, there's enough open things personally what I like. More for drama than practicality is a good Kappa scrap.
Yeah.
Because it gets in there, it is nasty. It just gets so scrappy over there, and it's always fun to watch. But yeah, FC, you get some of the trade Overwatch, and you get some of that point stuff. I think it's hard to tell what we're going to see from these. I would actually expect probably more of the same, which that's sort of the cop-out call. But if you expect a push, you set up for a receive, something a little more versatile. And both teams have shown to do that. I think DSC maybe, again, like I've been saying, will tend towards the tradier side. Their focus fire has shown that is very viable for them. And let's see how the Jaegers decide to tackle that. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and launch us. Our teams have been ready for a few seconds.
Yeah, they're both at 480 tons, using up the full maximum here.
And we are in. Don't forget, folks, we are on a 7-minute delay, no longer a 5-minute delay, in case you were wondering. So that is going to be a thing to keep in mind as we try to interact with chat on occasion. And also, if you're on MWO Leagues, go check out MWO Leagues 2 for Therax's point of view. You can even pull out side by side, see what's going on in the match as we hopefully cover different fights, trying to split it up so you can capture more of the match. Hang on. All right, there we go. Looking at the Dark Sea Corsairs, we've got our Shadowcat again here and a rival. So we're looking a little trady off the bat. Hellfire, been seeing more and more of that. It is a good scrappy mech with high alpha build, basically. 2 heavies, 4 ERs, so basically a Hellbringer build. We've got a Marauder too. Yes, the Gauss Peeps one. Yes. Timberwolf, probably just a standard laser bomb stalker with large and mediums. That one is a killer mech, and our Mistling. So yeah, looking mostly trade on DSC. Not a whole lot of receive, not a whole lot of dock on that.
Kappa push coming out of Sky Ranger Jaegers. A lot of small pulse on their lights. The Firestarter does not have the light PPCs. Even the Crusaders running, 2 heavy PPC and 12 small pulse. 12 small lasers. Just overall, this looks like Brawl to me. Very much so. It should be aggressive plays here. They've taken Kappa early. Just waiting for the Firestarter to catch up to the rest of their 4-pack.
Yep, gonna go after Zelk a little bit. Yep, here's the pounce on Zelk. 3-on-1 if they're careful. Darksea Corsairs moving to give Overwatch. Let's see if Jaegers overcommit. They do not. Very smart.
Now these mechs all
some
have
damage pullback.
The Vapor Eagle Rival, the Shadowcat, and the Hellfire. They all could mask out of there if they wanted to, but they're gonna hold. Now this cap is going to get taken though from yeah, the Flea's looking at it, looking at Sigma, has not gone for it yet. Shadowcat is covering it.
Yep, Darkseer. Oh, here comes the response for Darksea Corsairs. Their wolf pack, as it stands, is moving in to try to take care of the Jaegers, who are already bailing. Good move. This is some great wolf pack play we're seeing. Let's check out our traders. Traders are doing all right right now. DSC having the armor advantage. A couple of the Jaeger's mechs looking a little beat up. Let's go see if we can find Gray Fox, see what's going on there, see where he's soft on that Crusaders.
82%. So
yeah, a little bit on the
be,
CT, mostly CT. Is a little weak.
A lot of mid-range from Darksea Corsairs. They don't have extreme range, and like even their stalker is just standard large laser. It does not have the ER large. So they're going to have some more DPS to receive than if they have gone for a dedicated full-on range trade.
Yep. Now, here's something interesting to note. If you look at the mini-map, you can see that the Jaegers are all clustered around Theta. That's bad news. That is absolute bad news. Fork the Spoon Wrecker, a little surrounded right now, probably calling out to his toe saying, hey, their wolf pack is pushing me over here. This is a problematic. Stuff coming off of Carlson, I think. Yep, an arm off of Carlson. Nothing too crazy. I don't think there was probably a dead arm. But yeah, okay, here we go. The Jaegers are...
I don't like this.
Moving to counter.
I don't like this positioning out of
no.
Rangers.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
They're either trading across the tabletop with no angles, or they're looking to push in a low ground, which they've already taken a lot of damage here. They need to make a decision.
Yeah, barking the Kodiak. Overextended. Yep, there we go. That's going to drop. He's at 48%. We can watch this tragedy happen. There goes the CT. Black came in the Viper, trying to give him a little bit of cover. That's not going to do it. Darksea Corsair, smelling blood, pushing off Ivazovsky at 66%. Hanging on there as we get into the scrap around the dropship here. Gatto in the XE taking a lot of shots. Open CT. Carlson, there we go. There's the open CT and down. This is where it all comes into a horse race call. Sorry there, X.
It's just, it's a kill box. That dropship location is a kill box. If you're moving through it, you have to move fast. You got to be pure brawl, just getting out. Merkjay might go down here in their Timberwolf, though. They moved up a little too much.
Yep, Sir Epic Poner using that mask to get around to the Hellfire, get those back shots. The Jaegers are absolutely pinched and surrounded here around the dropship.
Darksea Corsairs moved up maybe a little bit too aggressively here. They're bringing their Marauder 2 into the fight. That's a Gauss PVC mech. It has a very low DPS.
Oh, it is. We're cinching the noose here at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, the percentages. It's not a... They had the percentages to make that move. It's not a great move to make if the percentages were anywhere close to even.
Yeah. But they saw the Jaegers move into that kill box, and they said, yes, thank you. It took full and immediate advantage. Folks in the audience, if you are reviewing this footage for your own team, take a look at Darksea Corsair's sense of timing.
Yeah.
Their timing has been impeccable over the past couple matches here. Particularly like this one, as soon as that mech went down, they saw Jaegers starting to close in there. They just absolutely started pushing in and getting so aggressive that the Jaegers could not get off their back foot there.
A little bit of a miscue there from the Kodiak, kind of pushing out ahead of the team. I don't know if that was a missed call. What happened there? That's kind of where things started to fall apart. Doggers.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at these scores. 500 for the Timby. Ivazovsky, there we go. 506. Goods on the Corsairs. Relatively low damage on the SROT team. The outstanding one is Gatto with that 400, a couple of near 300s with the Firestarter and the Kodiak. So they were putting out damage. Everyone else in the 100s. So we see a tale of damage here rather than a tale of focus.
Yeah, Sky Rangers had a fair bit of mid-range damage potential, but they didn't have the angles because of where they moved up to. And half their team was brawl, but they weren't able to. They delayed a little bit too long to go in, perhaps, or they needed to have the angles for their mid-range to be able to effectively trade, and kind of just went a middle ground where they had neither.
Yeah, I'm going to move us over to the map room so we can maybe take a look at what that looks like.
Yep.
I think what we saw there is that push from the Jaegers, or not the push, but that attempted pick early on got a little thwarted. and then they rejoined their team and just stuck around that point while DSC took the flanks as well. So I talked about this in the earlier cast in some of the interstitial content. If you're looking at Hibernal, it's really easy to get stuck behind one piece of cover. If you see that your traders are all grouped up, like if you're grouping up for a push, that's one thing. But if everyone else is grouped up, it's bad news. You need to have angles on that. All right, our next match is Polar Highlands. I'm gonna get these guys going. Let's do a debrief on that one. I'm getting these guys set up.
Sure. So yeah, just quick sketch here on Hibernal. The green was the kill box, and the other kill box, Charlie 3, which Sky Rangers didn't go into the one, they did go into the other. And I don't know if they really had that many options. Now, our next map up, we're going to be going Polar Highlands. Let's get that up on the map room here. Polar Highlands is a much larger map, so that does dictate a little bit of changes to the strategy. I was big into this Gamma position. So far, I haven't seen a team actually go up for the Gamma Castle, and it's just so far off to the side. It does take quite a long time to get there. That could very well be that in the 5v5 here on the the 8v8 with the 5 caps, there just isn't time to set up and have these long stationary trades. A lot of teams are kind of just going for the Theta, either push or control, and either push across, or you can set up around to various firing positions around the outskirts of Theta, and have shots down into Theta to deny it, or to try and cover your light mechs as they attempt to take it. And we've seen pushes succeed here, and receive also succeed to varying extents. There are options on this map in terms of playing, but these teams, so far in this tournament, they've been focused around Theta extensively. Not to the extent that they're ignoring Kappa or Gamma, but they are, taking the option to race up to Theta with either 3 or 5 mechs, often masking heavies or mediums to join the lights and just try and gain control of Theta early before the traders have moved up, or brawlers as it may be. Kind of splitting off for the secondary caps later, once you've got control over Theta with your range overwatch, but just establishing the control early, getting the cap ticked in your favor by throwing more onto the cap than your opponents have. And I'd say it'd be fairly risky to go to Theta with anything less than 4 mechs, just the way that the focus has been on it.
Depends on how quickly you get there. If you've got you can get there with 1 in an Overwatch, basically to let them know when to bug out, but you can sneak Theta there without a full 4. But it is a real sneak maneuver, and then folks will show up later just to get those couple of ticks going. But in general, I agree with you. There's been a lot of focus over Theta, and the Overwatch has been coming fast. So if you think you got there ahead of time, that's fine, but know that the other team has like 3 mechs coming your way.
I mean,
3 or 4.
You've got Black Lanterns kind of been showing up on here as one of those mechs in that wolf pack. Hellfire as well, both relatively fast for their tonnage. And then Executioners as the Overwatch mech of choice right now for this current meta. That can show up faster than what you'd expect out of an assault, generally speaking, like in terms of a Stalker or like a Marauder 2C or whatever. The Executioner can mask to get there a little bit sooner. So I think it's going to be focused around Theta. I don't know if these teams are actually going to brawl, or if they're going to just kind of set up around the outskirts of these Theta cap point and just kind of, feel out the opponents, play some mid-range perhaps, maybe work their ways to the sides eventually if they do go for more dedicated trade. I do believe that there are a number of options to play on Polar Highlands in terms of different strategies. You could even, sit back on the Sigma cap in Hotel 11, or there's another high point somewhere out in Juliet 7 or India 7 that's elevated, where you can put an Overwatch mech with ERPPCs if that was what you were looking for. And you don't have to go to Theta with all of your force. Definitely do not have to.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see which these teams decide to do. Obviously, DSC probably with the advantage on this map. due to their focused fire. But again, not to count the Jaegers out, and I would love for them to take a couple matches here. Let's even it up. Let's see all 5. But yeah, it is like you said. These approaches are pretty much where it's at. We're probably going to see a lot of fights around the outside of Theta there, and who knows where the wolf packs are going to end up. I think that is the beauty of such a large map.
Yeah.
But you can develop that, but we'll see where these teams roam. I am honestly at a loss. It could go either way. I think DSC are going to take the power positions there, and the Jaegers maybe going to take some do something interesting. I don't know. Maybe we'll see a Lerm strat. That'd be fun.
Incubus would be one of those mechs that I would pick as a potential light to run heavy large off to the side for either team. Get those side flank angles in. It can be effective against a brawl where you can start kiting the opponents, go for the legs, or even circle around behind, go for back shots. It's also pretty effective in a trade scenario where you can get 1 or 2 half-decent burns into the side of a mech, and then they have to continue thinking about that Incubus that might be peeking over that hill while they're trying to trade against the rest of your force. That's one mech that I think does quite well here. Teams are looking ready.
Oh, nope, not yet.
Okay.
Team 2, the Jaegers are not officially locked. We'll head on over to the lobby. You can see stuff that are going on behind the scenes a little bit, see where our lobby is looking at. We've talked a lot about maps today. If you are interested, if you are a new team, go ahead and check out the earlier cast. That will we did some deep dives into some of the maps, and you can see what some of these teams are doing. Steal their strats, check out their mechs. We try to click on them a little bit so you can see what those loadouts are. Hey, copy these guys' homework, really. All right, there's our lock. We're going to go ahead right into it and launch on this one. But yeah, there's been a lot of map talk today. A lot of opportunities for our new players. Check my notifications, see what's going on. Ooh, I've had about half an hour ago, I had some frame drops. That's curious. Sorry about that, folks. All right, let's see here. Ooh, we got someone running predictions in the chat. Excellent. Just a reminder, we are on a 7-minute delay. And if you want to check out the team, or rather not the team 2, but if you want to check out Therax's point of view, hopefully covering other areas of the fight, please feel free to do so on MWO Leagues too, as we get ready for this third matchup to go into the Dark Sea Corsairs. None for the Jaegers so far.
All right,
Let's see. I've got a summoner. I'm with the Jaegers right now. I've got an SRM summoner. They're going to push on this. Probably a Snub Crusader, hopefully. No, the Med Pulse and Small Laser Crusaders. PPCs on the XC and just a Gargoyle. This is going to be a very fast push. So we'll see what they end up doing. If the trick here is going to be if they can remain undetected. Let's check out the Corsairs here. What are they running?
Dark Corsairs have brought kind of mid-range a little bit, some ER large and some Goss mixed in with large Pulse, Clan large, and ER PPCs, heavy larges, but their light mechs are looking fairly aggressive to me in terms of builds. They do have a Spider with a Snubnose PPC and 4 machine guns. That is potentially something that they're going to be using for capping these outside caps, as opposed to dedicating too much emphasis around Theta.
That 5K is not to be underestimated, though. It'll get into that fight, especially if it's a light fight, and it'll do some damage with that snub. It just puts out damage.
They looked at
Spiders
Theta
have gotten a really nice quirk pass.
Yeah, Dark Sea Corsairs did a jump jet scout with a Viper just to see if Theta was available.
Yep.
It was not. But they're taking
They're
Gamma.
keeping an eye. Yep. They've got an eye on the wolf pack here. Red Baron pulling back. Very quick cap on Theta. Very nice. The Jaegers are now free to move about the cabin.
That Spider might have been going for cap already. They have not. 2 caps to 2. Neither team feeling pressure on the cap front at the moment.
It is Jaegers to take, though, but there are a whole lot of SRMs and pulse boats. This is a push build, push deck, so they're probably not too worried about Kappa. Here we go. And we see these positions. These are basically the same positions that were taken in an earlier fight. And I'm forgetting which
Yeah.
team it was
Uh,
off the top of my
KDCM,
head.
wasn't it
Was it the
KDCM
5J?
push?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was our first 5J max. Yes, absolutely. And these are the same positions that they took. They are ready to receive. You can look at this absolutely beautiful concave. I'm motioning with my hands like y'all can see it here. A beautiful concave on my screen here while there's a little bit of screening going on with the lights in front. The Jaegers have not moved a whole lot.
Yeah. They're setting up, but they're not posturing for a push. They are rather stationary, just content for the two cap tick to continue. Dark Sea Corsairs are playing quite far back. They had excellent receive position, so I was not feeling very hopeful for that push lead if it had gone forward. But the thing is that the longer they take to make this push, the more armor that they're going to end up losing.
Yeah, that being said, they flipped Gamma out in a hope to pull maybe their lights off so they can make that push. That's actually a little bit of a big brain play. And they're going to
Yeah,
end up taking a rather large cap lead when all is said and done
recaps
if
to
the
one.
Darksea Corsairs doesn't move. Yeah.
That's where
And
if the Dark Sea Corsairs had gone and grabbed Kappa earlier, wouldn't be
yep.
feeling the
And
quite.
here's the
Oh no,
movement on DSC. Yep. There they are. They know exactly what they need to do. You can see it in how quickly they assess the situation. They see they're down 3-1. That's a problem. 3 to
it
2,
is.
not so bad. 3-1, you got an issue.
I don't
So they're starting to
like.
move.
I don't like the idea of closing the gap and pushing though. They should be sending their lights off to Cap, not advancing. They know they're against brawlers. They've got to have
Oh
seen the
yeah.
lights by now.
Well, that's exactly Jaeger's play. They know it. Here's the trap. You look at them, they know they're around that corner, they're getting ready for that push. They're gonna just push them. Jaeger's with that flip just absolutely changed the dynamic of this game.
Kappa has been taken now. Dark Sea Corsairs do have two caps now, but they do need to find a
Yep.
third. They have a couple
Now's the
minutes to
time
do
to
so.
push. You're close enough to do so. Or are they gonna sit on the cap game? I don't know.
Dark Sea Corsairs just continue to rotate. I do believe they're going to send a Mech Force Sigma shortly.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, now's the time to push, Jaegers.
Oh,
Come on, just do it. Commit. You've got the deck. They're within range. You've got all the cover.
Iran's playing with
Oh,
fire there.
no. Yeah, absolutely. That is a dangerous poke being made
They
there.
get out. Now, Theta's bait.
They're gonna have to sit there for a hot minute. They're not gonna. There's no way the
Yeah.
Corsairs try to make a move for Theta right now. They're gonna get some of that armor off of the Jaegers, and they've got a fairly.
Okay, here's the
It
push.
doesn't necessarily look it, but there's a significant armor difference. I think the
Yeah.
Jaegers have probably lost too much armor, but here we go. Strap in, ladies and gentlemen. Who are we going after here? The
All those right
5K
up
going
front
into the
can't run
back.
away.
Oh, they're getting a little squirreled, but Merkjay is the
leg.
first target going
Hollow.
right down. Who's next? It's got to be Poner, right?
Hollow's down.
Hollow going down. Carlson also going down there. Cayman going down. Red Baron going down. You just see it. It is just a slaughter here. Apostle Burke in that gargoyles looking a little rough, a little cooked. But yeah, the Jaegers are, well, they're up on people, actually probably about equal on armor. All right, let's take a look. Go Jaegers. Fork going down, evening it out, 3-3, 3-4 as Poner goes down.
Yeah, this is
Gatto next on the list.
still
This
close.
is just, damn, nah, not so much anymore. All the weapons on the
There's a
field
Shadow
here.
Cat that could kite, a Blood Asp that could one-shot some of these heavily wounded mechs, but the Blood Asp is actually shut down.
Yeah, let's see how cooked. That's got to be, oh, not cooked too bad, but those legs are weak.
If they
are
could
weak.
get one shot here on that gargoyle, that would be huge. There's the gargoyle.
Yep, and there it is. Yep.
Blood Asp
But
bumped
that
me
being
leg.
said, Penzazo getting that leg out. Gray Fox
Yeah.
coming in for the close. And we'll scoot on over here to our Shadow Cat who looks legged. Yep, that was a leg, and there it is.
A lot of
Honestly,
heavily
Jaegers
damaged
could have
mechs.
pushed a little earlier, but oh, the big brain play on that cap switch changed everything.
Yeah, the mistake here out of Dark Sea Corsairs, just they moved their assaults a little bit too close up, and they were being harassed from the back. So you always want to be, when you're getting shot in the back, the instinct is to kind of just cluster up. But they needed to maintain a little bit more range there with their assaults. They were doing a very good job whittling down Sky Rangers. just moved a little bit too close toward Theta there with X.
And they were set up to receive. The Jaegers holding that. This was big brain plays. Honestly, this was a match of minds more than anything else. DSC was ready for them. The Jaegers dislodged them. DSA moved when they needed to, which was pretty much immediately when it was 3-1. But like you said, got a little too close there. Excellent push by the Jaegers, which is going to send us into match 4, which is Crimson Streak. Let me see. What are we doing? We do have another side swap here. I'm going to go on over to the map screen if you want to debrief there while I get this.
Yeah. Pull up the stats here, but it's not working for me, so let's just move on to the maps, sure.
All right.
So what we had, we'll make sure I get the teams right. Dark Sea Corsairs on the team side here. They did move up toward Theta initially, but they set up for a receive. The back ridge line here. So a decent concave there. They did get an early cap off on the side. It was Gamma and regroup. But they never actually went for Kappa. They had a scout nearby, but they never went for the cap point. Instead, electing to kind of just sit Theta. Now on the opposing side, we've got it was Sky Rangers. They just kind of ran up onto Theta, heavy force, and then they sat there for an extended period of time. Now they were bleeding armor around Theta, which they were controlling. But they elected to just sit there. They did send a light off to get Gamma and return, and while that was occurring, Dark Sea Corsairs, they ended up kind of moving up, gaining a rotation around on the side, looking at Theta, never actually going onto it. They ended up getting a little bit too close to the sun and got burned when that push turned around and ran into them. Gauss rifles just do not have DPS. Very poor weapon when you end up having to take a brawl receive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If they cut around a little more, they were trying to. I don't entirely know what the thought process was there, because they could have sent someone out for Kappa real quick.
Yeah. That's something that as soon
that's
as
the
you
mistake.
see,
That's the head scratcher there.
Yeah, you see 3-4 mechs going for Theta, you can send one mech over to Kappa quick. You still have if you're far enough back, which they were, you could probably take a decent brawl receive 7v8 if your mech was off at Kappa, showing up late, returning to the fight. They were set up nicely, quite far back, but they didn't go get that cap. So then when the Gamma flip occurred, they started doing that rotation. The rotation was decent. They just rotated a little bit too tight, and it was kind of a NASCAR in a way. They didn't manage to complete a lap, obviously, but the rear end was being chewed by mechs from the Hotel 8 high ground.
Yeah, and, they can't really push through the center. There's no straight lines when you've got when the center is occupied by just all of the weapons.
The assaults probably just needed to push a little bit wider, try to go to like Juliet 9, and then play 3 cap Epsilon Kappa Sigma as your 3 cap control while you continue to whittle down armor. That's maybe what I would have just a minor adjustment maybe that might have worked out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But even if they had just sent the Spider to Kappa early, they might not have been had to make any move there. A 3 cap to 1 situation is quite different than a 3 cap to 2 situation. On the one, you can sit for an extra minute. On the other, you really just got to start moving.
And they did. To their credit, DSC started moving probably about 8 seconds after that flipped. Like their timing and their knowing what needs to happen when is actually very nice. One of the strengths of this team is they know what's going on. It was just that one fatal mistake, and they were set up for that receive so beautifully. The Jaegers just outbrained them on that one.
The percentages were well done in such a way that I wasn't sure, even with their results being too close, that the brawl was going to end up going poorly. It was pretty close.
They ended up losing a lot of armor once DSC started to move. They were doing okay as they were sitting. They were losing a point here and there, but then once DSC started to move, that was a problem. We're coming up on the 1.5-minute warning for Team 1.
Going on to
Because I
Crimson
missed the
Strait.
2-minute.
I think we've
Yes,
talked
please do
Polar
so.
Highlands here, so gotta go find out. Oh, Crimson Strait. Who is playing on team is the Sky
Jaegers.
Rangers and going to be Darksea Corsairs. Now, I've talked a little bit here earlier that I was thinking this is maybe a Team 1 favored map. Options available for Team 1 in terms of the way that they play. They can push to Island if that's what they elect. They could play Shoreline. They could even play Back Ridge behind Gamma. Those are all options that are somewhat distinct. I mean, you take a mix of both generally when you're doing them, but you can focus more heavily on the one than the other. Whereas on Team 2, their options really are to play kind of a mix of behind Kappa and on the platform / saddle, or just pushing for the island. Those are kind of, I only see two options on their side. Both teams have access to Theta, but one can kind of take a more hidden path to get the Theta that covers their numbers and allows for supporters that are not obviously revealed. Whereas if Team 2 elects to go for Theta, they have to go over the saddle, and that can easily be scouted from any mech at the island window, Echo 3 position, or Delta 3, Delta 4 can also has decent sight lines looking toward the saddle, could count how many mechs are going to Theta if Team 2 tries to go there. So Team 2, I really think that playing for the island is maybe their best play. Just getting aggressive, going for an island, either taking the island with the majority of your mechs, opening up a flank with a couple from Kappa or platform, just doing that brawl push that we saw work out earlier for ADC. But there's more options, in my opinion, for one. That doesn't necessarily mean that the map is imbalanced. I don't know.
It's the new points make it a whole lot better. I mean, it is ultimately imbalanced. I don't mind such an imbalanced map. Unfortunately, you only get to play it once. If you get to play it both sides, that's where I really like it, because ultimately it's about how do these teams solve the problem of the imbalance. It's like Forest Colony, right? It is a little bit imbalanced, not irrevocably so. And it's, what are your solutions to that problem? That being said, both teams are ready here, and I think we've covered pretty much everything. I'm hoping to see that island push KDCM. I think Esrat has a good chance on that. So let's see if we can do that. I'll give
80 ton team.
Someone heard Hollow has rum. I like rum, but sound like a bad idea. Maybe after this match. But yeah, here we go. We are launching into it. God, I love that new Stinger thump. I'm gonna make it louder.
So currently, Darksea Corsairs has 2 drop wins to 1 from Sky Rangers. So Sky Rangers need to win out the next, this one and the drop following in order to advance.
Yeah, that being said, we're getting close to that 5 map. 5 map drop. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'd like to get to a 5 drop match here. Get today.
Taking a look at the beautiful Crimson Strait. Oh, and as a reminder, if you want to check out Therax's point of view, he is broadcasting on MWO Leagues too, so go check that out. It's just, an enhanced experience. I'm over here with the Jaegers here with, I'm looking at a Rancor and a Direwolf. I think we've brought the trade, so they're going to make a play for the island to trade this out. That is a kind of a risky move here for the Jaegers, given that I think the DSC are a little bit better traders. But hey, maybe they can make it work out here. The Crusader with ER large. Yeah, we've gone full trade. I think they're gonna start getting some angles on the island here. How we doing over there in DSC land? With Gray Fox going for the scout here on the island. Did I lose it, Therex?
Sorry. Yeah, so it's trade on Darksea Corsairs. 6 ER large on the Rancor Bloodass climbing the back. 3 ER PPCs on the Orion 2C Hero Skull. They do have Snubnose PPC, Phoenix Hawk, Black Lantern also going for the Beta Cap with ER Mead Heavy Large. So a little bit of mid range on that, but definitely looks tradey to me. There is an early island pressure though.
match, actually, as I'm looking at it. Almost. Not quite, but very close. Yeah, okay. We've got a little bit of fight that's about to happen over here on the island, it looks like, maybe. Gray Fox getting some... Ooh, that... what is over there? Is that the Rancor that's up there in that
Yeah,
trade
Rancor's
spot
up
for
high,
DSC?
trying to get some damage
Yeah,
out.
getting some shots on Gray Fox. Ultimately just tickling, taking like, what, 3% off an Incubus. That's a fair amount of damage ultimately, but it's very spread. More of
Yeah.
a nuisance at this range. Fire Ant and that Fire Starter just sitting there. Maybe got to take some pop shots, drop a UAV. Where are we going? Shooting down a UAV, but they know he's there. Gray Fox getting some shots off of Fire Ant. And just a lot of little tickling trading going on here. Fire Ant taking some more shots from Gray Fox, but ultimately not a whole lot of damage being done.
Yeah, so the Rancor's moving up for Sky Rangers to the window on the island is what they look like that they're advancing to. So the island is being conceded here. There was a bit of a play from Darksea Corsairs to try for it, but they bailed out.
Yep. And decide to take Theta instead. So here we find our 3-2 cap. It is up for the Jaegers. Make a move. I'm going to see what Spoon is doing over here because it looks like he might be about to run into some trouble. I know I hate to chase the light, but it seems like we're a little stagnant. Yeah,
Yep.
Spoon's just kind of like sitting here, just kind of looking out on that flank, not really making any sort of commitment towards Theta, which might be the thing to do at this point.
I think that is they're waiting for Theta to be clear. Their team is going to count the mechs going back over the saddle, and once that call is made, I anticipate that they're going to make the play for Theta.
That being said, Rangers have completely just taken the island. I think that's a bit of a mistake. You want some of those angles, but maybe they just weren't getting the shots against DSC's position there.
Lee is coming back. They are not going for Theta, so Sky Rangers are going to have to make a play. It's going to be a push of some sort.
Yeah, my guess would be to try to push them off Sigma and get into those buildings a little bit. But it's a matter of trading. It looks like Red Baron in the Orion on DSC is a little roughed up.
Yeah. Recaps it too.
But
There's a lot
much.
of time here. There's no rush.
Yep.
Just if you think you can win your trades, you've got a lot of time to sit and trade.
Oh yeah, and so far they're not doing bad. I don't know if any team is necessarily winning them. They seem to be going back hollow, taking some shots here.
Yeah, 86%.
A little bit to the back.
Damage.
Yeah.
Oh, that side torso just took a decent burn though. Probably not that far away from opening up.
And he fell off. All right, so yeah, Rancor is out for a little bit. Is Jaeger's going to be able to capitalize? Looks like Jaegers are winning the trades right now. Actually, let's see where Red Baron's sitting at. Oh, that's completely spread. Nothing
Caps
to worry about there.
But that's another like 3 minutes before that really starts to matter.
I don't know about 3 minutes. I give it I don't know. It's like somewhere around 400, 450 is where you really want to start thinking about caps, and we're approaching that.
Yeah.
Before it becomes a real struggle. Spood needs to go get Theta. Like that's just it.
Merc J and the Flea is eyeing Gamma. That would definitely accelerate things on the cap side. Now, the Flea for Sky Rangers worked the Spoon record. He's now making that play for Theta. And they're going to be uncontested there. Now, if they're countered by a Gamma cap attempt, then that will not change the situation positively for Sky Rangers.
Yeah. Merc J is spotted though. I'm not sure who was shooting. It was either I think it was Black Cayman or Gray Fox. One of them was threw a few lasers onto Merc J there. So he is spotted and sort of cornered there, trying not to take damage. Hollow at still at 73. Yeah. Did he take any more damage?
Side torso is open on Hollow's.
Okay, so yeah.
So that one good burn there, probably at this range with a little bit of spread damage, probably 2 or 3 burns, but that side torso, if it goes, that's a lot of weaponry and cooling capacity gone from that Blood Asp. Gamma's being flipped.
Their trades overall.
Theta has not been flipped. The mech was out there.
Oh, why?
They're coming back instead of completing the cap.
Gamma flip. The Gamma flip is happening. That's calling them back. I think that's a mistake. I think that's the mistake right there. Yeah.
That's like 2 minutes to go to Theta and come back. You can't come back without taking the cap.
Already there.
Here's the push.
Are we missing something? Oh, yep. All right, yeah, we're making a play for Sigma here.
So this is 5 mechs with, or 4 mechs here with decent speed crossing the water, but there's still a couple mechs left in the island. So not a lot of punishment coming in on these mechs, just some minor PVC hits.
Yep.
Darkseas are
Punzao
rotating
getting
out.
it started. Just needs to not take damage. That's the critical thing. If you're on the point, you cannot take damage or you get multiple mechs on that. Flip it fast. But they are going to have to take 4 at this point. Meanwhile, the Darksea Corsairs light pack is moving in on the island.
Yeah,
I
island
don't
is
know
about to
which
get
fight to.
dove.
I'll cover the island fight here.
Sure.
Well, that seems to be the fight. All right, House and the Black Lantern poking over, getting a faceful. As the Sigma group comes back, having flipped the fight. All right,
Fleas
this is our fight here. Embarrassing open CT, but still with all weapons, very dangerous. Although it is close. Gray Fox staving off Royal Star. Panzazzo back with the Phoenix Hawk, and the DSC is driven off of the island. The Sigma group continuing to.
Oh, this is going to be a nasty pincer here. 3 mechs from Sky Rangers. Yager's about to get dove from the remaining mechs from the island returning here. And a push coming forward at the same time from the mechs from the city.
Yep. There goes
first
Poner.
mech down is, Sir Epic Pawner in that Crusader.
They need the ticks. Fork needs to go flip Theta like now. Oh, there it is. They're flipping maybe Kappa.
620
no, they
to
need
500.
it. They're going to lose it on caps. The fight is good, but they need...
Stormcrow's halved, but still running around. Yep. That is a mech that has some speed.
Going down. There we go. Gray Fox is going for Theta, but he is being pursued by Merc J. That is going to be the pivotal fight right there when it gets there. Theta needs a flip. Sigma is being recaptured by DSC. I think that's going to secure it for him. Looks like Hollow just got halved there by the Direwolf, I assume that is. Yep. As Gatto keeps trading against Hollow. Zuri going down as well for the Jaegers, meaning this is tied on kills, but that cap lead is wild. Kappa almost flipped.
Yeah. A little bit of a fight here on the cap. Ryan goes down.
Oh, no, they're going to take it. Okay, okay.
Is a 4 cap good? A 3 cap is probably not good enough here. I think you need that 4 cap.
Maybe. But actually, yeah, let's head on over to the Theta fight. That's where it's going to matter. We're going through the terrain. Physics don't mean nothing for us. All right, yeah, they are going to. There goes Hollow. Yeah, Merc J with the flea just sort of trying to stave off damage and get the cap on this point. There it is. Gray Fox was not able to. Royal Star coming in behind. They're not going to be able to get
that Theta cap's probably
Sigma.
enough for the win. House is over here defending a cap as well against that flea. The longer House stays alive here, the harder it is for Sigma to be flipped. If Sigma's not getting flipped. So this is going to be a win for Darksea Corsairs here.
On the caps, but with excellent fights, very spread out. Sorry about the coverage on that. There's only so many places we can be where the fights are.
Yeah, Rancor coming in for the cap here. Desperation play, open center torso. Black Lantern could probably drop them, but even if they just stay alive and deny the cap, that's good enough.
Yep. Oh, we got 2 guns on that Lantern. They were waiting for him, but that's not going to be enough. Well played on the Corsairs on that match. Need a little more moving for Jaegers.
Yeah,
on that one when it came down to it, but not bad.
Yeah, that Theta flip might have done it. Like, going all the way to Theta and then coming back without taking the cap, that could have been, I don't know if it would have been enough tickets, somebody else could do the math, but it would have been close.
Yes, I would have been very close, especially the way they took Sigma there at the end. I think that had a lot of potential on that. I'm not sure why Spoon left. That's who called him back. He was right where he needed to be.
Yeah.
But let's check out these scores real quick. 641 on that Orion. That Skull playing very well in these matches in general. Gatto in that Bloodass almost 900 with that farm. Pretty high scores, sort of all around. Panzazzo getting a little stuff there, alive at the end. Fire Ant and the Fire Ant all in the double digits though on the other side. So that was so close and it came down to caps. Honestly, it could have gone either way. That was a very close finishing map. Well done to both teams.
Yeah.
On this one.
Almost 900 damage for Gadolinium in the Blood Asp. That is a very high damage total.
Yeah. I'm gonna head us over the map room. Let's take a look at all that sort of here. It is ultimately pretty simple in terms of lines, right? I'll just clear what's here. So Esrat, the Jaegers took the island with everything. And Fork just kind of hung out over here for, frankly, too long. Could have taken Theta a lot earlier. And meanwhile, the Corsairs sent a little task force to Theta, and in the meantime was just kind of like trading all over the place here, and halfway decent. And we had our Rancor over here in Hotel 4 trading with the island. So getting that trade on, letting their light pack do what they needed to do. And this comes down, and I mean, this is where it ended up. It's a timer thing. Esra ended up pushing over to Sigma. Eventually we saw Theta, but only a half cap, not even, before Fork came back. That was sort of the confusing play of it. And this is sort of where we saw the fight and the lines. It came down to that timer and making the moves when you need to make them. Jaegers just made them a little too late on that Theta cap. The Sigma push, I think, was ultimately well timed. But they could have used a little more time on it. Use that armor that they have. The pushes and counter pushes were quite nice to see. The teams ultimately evenly matched.
It was a good match. It was a good fight here on this drop. It was quite close. Both teams had 3 mechs standing at the end, and the caps were a little bit of a difference there. I enjoyed watching that Kappa fight. I think you were off looking at lights at the time, but there was an intense fight around Kappa there that everybody was wounded, and they were trying to fight on the cap point in hopes of just getting a couple of ticks on it, even while dealing the damage, taking the damage, or your opponent mech can't cap if you're standing on the cap. So even if you can't shoot them, if you're just standing on the cap, they have to kill you to be able to take the cap. And it was all these crippled mechs probably riding that heat cap. Just would have been sweaty comms if we would have been able to listen in on that, I imagine.
For the top 12, we might be able to pop in there. That's gonna take some resource management, but comms should be in the MWO comp server for that, so we can pop in and see what's going on there. But no, I agree, that Kappa fight ended up probably being the fight. I thought it was going to be Theta over there with the Incubus pushing over there. If they were able to flip it, that would have been a thing. But
that's the nice thing about having 2 streams here, where we can hopefully cover all the angles, so that you can watch both the Theta fight and the Kappa fight at the same time. And I'm hoping that everyone's getting in on that and enjoying the action. Both Ivor and Therax here. I'm streaming on MWO Leagues 2. Ivor's streaming on MWO League's main channel. And you can check out the VODs later to see what you missed and get that other angle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think ultimately that is going to wrap our cast for this evening. And it's going to wrap the knockout round of the Invitational. It's just going to recap that a little bit here. So we had 4 matches today. Let me get those. Let's see. I should have the which one am I looking for here? Yeah, here it is. All right. So we had EQ versus Casterian Guards. That went a 3-0 sweep. That'll put Equilibrium into the pile for the round robin. We had Abens v Clutch, another 3-0 sweep for Abens, so that'll put Abens in. The big upset of the day, KDCM 17, the Q Dodgers, dodging the Q and getting into and over 5 JDX. And then, as we just saw, Darksea Corsairs also in that top 4. Coming out on top over the Jaegers. So your 4 are Equilibrium, Abens, KDCM 17, and the Darksea Corsairs. They'll be fighting in September for seeding spots into the top 12.
I should
and won't be in the queue.
Get that date out of. I know it's been posted. I just need to look it up.
Yes. So our next step is essentially those. The rest of the invitationals is going to complete, and we are going to the queue in a couple of weeks here. So those teams that were knocked out still have a chance to get into the top 12. We'll be taking the top 8 from the queue. So if you are a newer team, hop in. The rewards are cushy. Up to 60 games played. You don't even have to win. You just have to play 60 games, get in that queue. And you're going to have till later in October to get that done. That being said, the top 8 will be harvested October 1st from the queue and will no longer be able to play. So vying for the top 25 special decal going on, and tournament supporter pack will be coming out at some point. It's gonna be sexy, everybody. That tournament supporter pack. So keep an eye out for that.
Tournament supporter pack, often very good value. I've been a fan of it. I've bought, I think, every single tournament pack that has been offered tournament supporter pack, and I intend to do so again this year.
I think the benefits from the last one like just expired, like the C-bill boost. I think someone said was tracking that. I think
a couple months ago,
and relatively recently.
But yeah, it was it's 10% C-bill boost is what historically it's been in all of your matches. You know, that is it's not quite as much as premium time, but it is, you know, good value if you're playing a fair number of matches.
It's also on top of premium time. It stacks.
Yeah, it does stack. And yeah, it just even if you're not you know, playing competitive or into the competitive scene, if you're into MechWarrior Online, it does provide a fair bit of value there. And of course, if you do care about the competitive scene, you know, a little bit of cash into the prize pool kind of incentivizes some players to put in a little bit more effort with the practices and the scrims, and to try and put in that top level performance in order to claim the prize pool. Yeah, so we know 4 teams that are going through into the tournament now. That's been determined. The other 8 coming out of that comp queue. So if you haven't already found a team and you're thinking of maybe going for that top 12 position, comp queue is going to be opening up in what was it, 2 weeks?
Yeah, give or next. The next patch day, basically.
The
is 24th. When everything's going to drop.
August 24th would be the first day. And then, you know, even if you aren't looking to get into the top 12, you're not that sweaty, or you don't have the skills. Yeah, just casual participation, a lot of fun, a lot of rewards. So definitely go check it out. Either in the MWO Comp Discord has information, or off of the main MWO Mercs website, there's a post that has details.
Oh, another point. If you're wondering about events, like if PGI runs events, CompQ usually counts for those. So you are not giving up anything by playing the comp queue. You are still getting, you know, your match score for events and all that kind of stuff. So don't let it deter you. It's such a great time. And join the MWO Comp Discord as well. I think that was in the announcement, if you are looking for a team and for all news MWO Comp.
Great. That
I think that does it.
Wraps it up. Okay, so this was Therax casting over on MWO Leagues 2.
And Ivor on MWO League's main. Stay tuned in a few weeks, ultimately, because we're that far through August for the next batch of invitational invitational content. And we'll sign off. Have a great night, everybody, and thank you for watching this delightful match.